Let's talk about the owners' meetings. They just concluded in West Palm Beach, Florida. They didn't get the job done. They had the chance to really make some impactful rule changes, and they didn't do it. Let's just walk through the things that they voted on, voted down, or tabled. The word of the week was table. They didn't take the action they should have. Unbelievable debate about the Tush push. Part of the coaching staffs were of the opinion it's illegal and it's dangerous. NFL's response, we don't have enough medical data. Some team doctors have indicated that players potentially could suffer catastrophic neck injuries. Well, all that pressure with guys piling on guys and guys diving headfirst into the pile to stop the Tush push, they think it's dangerous. NFL owners say there's not enough data. They tabled the proposal. Now, there's a bigger piece of that conversation. Roger Goodell, in his State of the League address, also indicated, well, if we're going to block pushing at the goal line, stop quarterbacks, running backs getting pushed in the end zone, we need to go back and maybe throw penalty flags. We can't allow pushing anywhere. We can't allow running backs on a sweep to the right to get pushed into the end zone by blockers. We can't have guys who intercept passes coming back the other way get pushed forward. We can't have a 3rd down and 3 become a pushing down to get a first down. It's very, very complicated. The Eagles have polished it, mastered it. Virtually nobody else has been able to do it. But at the end of the day, it's now a bigger picture conversation, which is why they've tabled it till the May meetings. And there's going to be a lot of dialogue between now and the May Memorial Day meetings. This still might happen. There's also a theory we shouldn't be passing a rule to penalize somebody that's polished it, the Philadelphia Eagles. So, mixed bag. You've got an opinion on the Tush push, feel free. Overtime. Obviously, they've changed the overtime rule. Now in playoffs, overtime goes 15 minutes. Now in playoffs, both sides get a full possession. Well, they voted to allow both teams in regular season to have a full possession, but they're only keeping it at 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. My only burning question to that is, John wins the coin toss to start overtime, and John grinds his way down the field, eats up 8.5 minutes of overtime, and scores. I'm going to get the ball, but I'm only going to have 1.5 minutes out of that 10-minute period to try to tie the game. Is that right? Is that fair? Or should my possession go as long as it takes until you stop me or I score? Big issue there. So, yeah, 2 teams get the shot, but is it a fair shot? Is it an equal shot? If John Riley's team goes down and I'm not letting your ass in the end zone, by the way, goes down and scores in an 8.5-minute possession to start the overtime. Replay assistance from the booth upstairs. We've had this already. The guys upstairs can look at instant replay immediately and message down to the referee on the field. That was not an illegal chop block. That was not an illegal blow up on the sidelines. That was not a hit on the quarterback. We're ordering you to pick up the flag. Replay guys have done this. They can do it. But the owners had the chance to take the replay and have the booth also message down to the referee on the field, there was a face mask on that pass play. That quarterback took a hit. That was an illegal chop block, a crackback block. Somebody got blown up on the sidelines. Throw a flag. The owners did not put that into this replay. They were expanding. You made a mistake, pick it up. They did not vote in. You made a mistake. You never threw the flag. You should have thrown the flag. I saw one game where Joe Burrows got hit in the face mask 4 times in one Bengals game. They never threw a flag. If we had the instant replay with the power through replay to go back to the referee and say he got hit, throw a delayed flag. You got the technology. Use the technology the way it should be. Seating. Real debate here. I was kind of surprised at this. This was the Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings rule, where there was conversation if you have the best record in your conference, you get the number 1 seed. Everybody else in the playoffs will get seeded by record rather than division wins. Again, the division winners all get ranked tops. Minnesota Vikings, who had the second best record in the NFL, wound up being the 5th team in the mix. Owners talked about it. Coaches sounded off, which kind of killed the deal. Coaches, Mike Tomlin was very vocal. Coaches said, hey, winning the division is really big. We sales pitch that because that's the first step towards greatness. So Mike Tomlin kind of threw his weight against this idea of seeding, saying, hey, we deserve a damn home game. Now, the argument is, yeah, but if you're 8-9 and you won your division because it's a crap division, you really deserve a home game? Mike Tomlin and a whole bunch of other coaches said, yes, winning the division is very important in terms of what we're trying to teach our guys in the locker room. So I think they missed the boat on that one. This is a really interesting one. The AAFC stats. A lot of people don't know this. NFL football, the modern day, happened after World War II. 1946, Paul Brown, Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers. That was the All-American Football Conference, which rivaled what was the young NFL at that point in time. They finally merged. Well, the NFL has just voted to allow all the statistics from 1946 to 1949 in the old All-American Football Conference to be incorporated with NFL statistics of all time.
Yeah.
It means Paul Brown, the legendary owner and the founder of the Cleveland Browns, who won 4 straight AAFC championships, all of his stats now go onto his record for his all-time win-loss record in the NFL. It also means team records. The greatest running football team in the NFL was the Baltimore Ravens just this past year. It's now been passed by the 1948 San Francisco 49ers.
Interesting.
It was the Joe the Jet Perry and all those guys back in the day. He's our stadium. They are now the new number 1 all-time rushing team in a single season. So all those kind of stats, the stats of the legendary quarterback Otto Graham, the stats of Crazy Legs Elroy Hirsch from the AAFC now get added into their NFL stats. So it's kind of changed the record book. So it's kind of cool for any old timer who remembers the early days of the All-American Football Conference. 18 games, Roger Goodell says, we want this. Owners, silent, but the owners say, indirectly, we want this because of the money. The union says, not on our watch. The realistic thing is, everything's negotiable. But the reality is the players are the ones that pay the price to play 18 games. The wear and tear factor is ungodly. And the union's concern is we're playing way too much football already, and now you're asking guys to play an additional game, stretch the season even farther, which means probably more injuries, which probably means surgeries, which, by the way, means if my left tackle is trying to recover from knee surgery, he has less recovery rehab time in the offseason because the damn camps are going to open because you're asking him to play 18 games the coming season. Has not been voted on, but there is a lot of pressure points for the union to come to the table and talk. And knowing the history of the NFL, they just open their wallet, throw a pile of money on the table, and the union says, yeah, we'll buy it. But this is about the player's health and longevity, so it's a big arguing point. So, John, I threw a lot of stuff there. Go ahead, pick a couple that are intrigue you the most, and go ahead and tell me what you think.
Just some quick hits on each of these. The tush push, I applaud the Eagles for out-innovating everyone else. I know the Bills have done it reasonably well. A lot of the other teams can't stop it, and I think that's why they're bitching and moaning about changing this rule. I say keep it.
What about the injury factor? Get 900 pounds of guys falling on your defensive tackle and breaks his neck.
But there's those kinds of situations happen all the time during the middle of the game, and it's football, for Christ's sake. So, I think that's dumb. The overtime thing is they're tinkering with, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 possessions. Just make it like college football. That is the best, cleanest, most balanced way to do overtime.
That's kind of radical. They're not going to do that.
Oh, yeah, because that's the problem with the NFL. They're so damn conservative, and then just a couple of other items here. I like the story about the AAFC. I didn't know a lot of those details, the history of the NFL.
You're a transplanted, deported 49er fan. You didn't know about the old 49ers, Y.A. Tittle, Joe the Jet Perry, and you need to go punch that up on your internet and study how great the old 49ers were. Not as great as Paul Brown and the original Cleveland Browns, but damn good.
Well, I knew about Y.A. Tittle. I know he played for the Giants and the Niners. but I thought he played like in the early 60s, maybe the late 50s. Did he go all the way back to the late 40s?
I think he was there right in the late 40s.
Amazing. Okay.
Sure.
So, wow. All right. So I didn't know that. But I mean, it's kind of interesting to see. There's always the competitive league that comes up and they either merge or they die. And this was another case of a merge.
Exactly. Okay. That's all things NFL. Feel free. You got something you'd like to add to the NFL notebook? Jump on board. We're not done. There's another.